Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Eternal Midnight. I'm Chad here with Santino,
What's up?
and what's going on? And we are going to be talking about the final two Next Generation movies. So we'll jump right into Insurrection. What was your thoughts on this one?
I loved it actually. I thought it was really good. I liked it.
Oh,
Do you?
tell us.
I think.
Tell us. Let's hear why.
I think honestly, the reason why I like it is because, okay, so we've had the Borg, which is very like a crazy enemy, and now we're gonna have a more down to earth story, which is honestly nice. We get to, and it helps us develop honestly Data and Picard way more. Do you agree?
Mm-hmm.
So like,
Definitely.
Like even that nice cute scene of Data being distracted by that musical theater. It's like, oh wow, he's getting in touch with his creative side. That was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what are your thoughts on it, man? I mean, like, what do you think? Do you like it or no?
So the first time I watched this movie, I thought it was very boring. I was like, this is literally just an extended episode of the show. And I still stand by this is a story that could have been like a two-parter TV show episode. That's like the stakes were not that high. The universe wasn't at risk. So it just felt like a smaller adventure, almost like when Ant-Man came out after Age of Ultron. It was like it was nowhere near the same size.
That's why I mean, like, it's a more down to earth story. Like, which is why I like, because we've had two movies where like, okay, it's a fate of the world, or it's a simulation, it's time travel, it's a big thing. But now it's a more like, and after all these, okay, and honestly, just a personal opinion, after all these like huge events, I like the fact that it was a smaller, more downscale threat. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And I think probably on this watch, my favorite thing about it was watching kind of more of the ethical question that was asked when when Picard was talking to the Admiral about moving the Baku off the planet. And the Admiral was like, this isn't even their native world. You know, it's only 600. What does it matter? And Picard was like, well, at what number does it matter then?
That
And it's
line
like,
is so good.
it really was. I mean, it really, like I said, the first time I watched this, I did not like it. This time, I enjoyed it far, far more than I remembered, because I was like what are they? The Sorna, I think they're called, the stretched faced guys or whatever.
Sorna. Yeah, Sona.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, the Sona. I just kind of like, I still don't really get it. Why did they look the way they do if they're related to, if they're a spin-off of the Baku who were kind of forced to leave because they wouldn't abandon the peaceful lifestyle? If they did they explain it? Because if they did, I don't remember.
I don't think they did. That's all I see.
Okay. But oh, you'll like this. The main Sona leader, did you recognize him or no? The actor?
F. Murray Abraham. Yeah.
That was Omar from Scarface.
Yeah. Omar. No, he's also Salieri from Amadeus, so that's where I knew him.
Nice.
Have you seen that movie, by the way?
Not yet. I need to, though.
It's really good. Even Ken watched it, and it's really fucking amazing.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to add it to my list.
Sure.
But
you should. It's really good. Yeah, F. Murray Abraham. Rufio? No, Rufio's from fucking Pan.
I was gonna say that's Huck.
Yeah. Ruafo is really good. I liked him. F. Murray Abraham.
Nice.
F. Murray Abraham is always one of those guys that's really like solid. Like I like his acting in a lot of things he's in.
And that's another thing. I don't think we've brought it up yet. I have got to give Star Trek credit. Like almost always they do a good job with their makeup and designs on their aliens.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's like they're almost always so creative. They do such a good job, and it's like as simple as the Sona were in this, I still enjoyed it. They still worked, I thought.
They really did work. I liked it a lot.
And I also like so now Riker and Troy. So basically, you obviously having not watched TNG, so they always kind of had like they always had like chemistry, like they'd had a thing at one point in the past, and obviously you saw their chemistry like exploded and really took off again in this one just because of the way the planet was. And I thought that was really interesting how Picard was kind of able to like resist the temptation of this planet that can basically heal you in some way, like whatever way you almost need to be healed. I thought that was cool that he was able to like resist that temptation. You know what I mean?
That was awesome. That was really solid. Because this is like a thing that I like in like stories. I always like when there's some form of like a character is tempted in some sort of way. You know, like, okay, kicking it back to Star Wars, you know, when Luke's training with Yoda, he's being tempted there, right? Or the dark side, it's like coming in and doing these things. Like, I honestly thought that was, all right, that was cool. And then when he fought Vision Vader in the swamp, and it's all like, oh, it's actually him inside. It's like, that's cool. So like the temptation of like healing you in whatever way you need. Damn, you're gonna have to like take a lot of skill and guts to not want that.
Yeah, to walk away and be like, I can have it, but no, this is still wrong. Trying to forcibly remove the Baku from the planet.
Right, exactly.
And I liked it. It was just, like I said, while it did feel like an extended episode of the show, you know what? It's almost like, because I marathoned like all 4 of these, like right in a row.
Yeah.
This one just felt relaxing to watch. Like watching First Contact, I was kind of like the edge of my seat. And this one, it was just like you like kick back and just relax watching watching these heroes, Picard and his crew, save this race that they don't even need to, because it's like the Admiral said, it's only 600, and Picard fired back, yes, but it's still 600.
It's like it honestly like reminded me of that line from Age of Ultron where it's like Black Widow and Cap are watching the island float already from the vibranium device, and then Black Widow says, everyone down here versus everyone up here, everyone down there versus everyone up here, there's no math. And Cap's like, we're not leaving this rock with one civilian on it. And Black Widow's like, I'm not saying we should leave. It's like, yeah, I love that. I love when a character says, no, all lives are important in this story. All.
Yeah, it was good. I loved watching this crew do that. And it's like they did mix in some good comedy, I thought. Like Worf going through like puberty for some reason. And like it was just nice small humor that I think worked. Like it wasn't overly rammed in your face like something like Ragnarok with some lame ass gag every 5 seconds. And the story still took itself seriously. Picard still stood up for what he believed in. And it was just fun. It's not the most exciting movie, but I think it works. And Picard's love interest, she was actually a very pretty lady, I thought. Like I thought she was really good looking.
Yeah, I guess so. But like, I like if she was famous in another place, I could not, you know, put it. I could not place her face anywhere else.
Yes, you can.
You know, it's Patrick Stewart because I know him from X-Men and other places. That's all I know.
No, I can tell you where you've seen her.
Where?
She was Doc Ock's wife in Spider-Man 2.
Oh, okay. But let's be fair here. I haven't seen Spider-Man 2 in a long time.
Yeah, but you love Spider-Man 2, don't you?
Not necessarily. I mean, like, I haven't seen it in a long time, so I don't even know where I will stand with that.
Oh, that'll be interesting at some point. But the one thing I will give that I thought was really stupid was like when that cave-in happened, and we kind of like thought she was dead, and then they kind of like built it up like she was going to die, and then there was just kind of like a cut, and they're like, "Oh, she's fine," and then she gets up. I'm like, "Well, that was fucking pointless."
Yeah.
They like built up like it was the end of her, and they're just, "No, she's good. Oh, cool, move on." I'm like, that was a waste of time, I guess. But yeah, overall, I really don't have much more to say about Insurrection.
No,
There's really not a lot.
Insurrection reminds me of like a side story, which in my opinion I needed after a lot of like big events with the world ending, and like, you know, helping a planet is in my opinion solid enough. You don't need,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? It doesn't always need to be world ending all the time, you know?
Yep. I agree. So overall, yeah, Insurrection, I'd say Insurrection is an underrated Star Trek movie because I know a lot of people, at least from what I've seen, a lot of people either say Insurrection sucks or it's pretty just forgettable. And I think it's not as exciting as First Contact, but I mean, it's not as bad as The Final Frontier or something.
Right. Although the next one,
Oh, I was gonna say, are you ready for fucking Nemesis?
might be as bad. Fuck Nemesis. I hated it. I did not like it. It is the second worst Star Trek movie I've ever seen, right beside
This movie was
the Final Frontier.
hated.
All right, honestly, okay, hear me out. The only nice part was Tom Hardy. All right.
What did you know he was in this going into it, or
no, I
did
didn't.
it
I
kind
was
of take
shocked.
you by?
I thought Layer Cake was one of his first things, but apparently it's this one. And my God.
So what did you think when you saw him?
It's like, wow, I'm shocked you're in this terrible bad movie. But then again, you're also in Dark Surprises, so.
Oh, shots taken at the Nolan trilogy. Nice. But no, I agree. And so I'm gonna give my thoughts on it coming from someone who watched the shows.
Bad, honestly, I didn't.
Oh no, it's bad. Well, I think what we're gonna do with this one is we're gonna kind of do what we did with
I genuinely want to just finish this and get it over with because I genuinely don't want to talk about it anymore. It is one of the worst plots ever. It is one of the characters. Our motivations change on a dime. I don't understand why people like okay.
I don't think anyone really likes this movie.
Rightfully so, because this is the second worst thing I've ever seen. Like, at least, okay, the only reason why it gets a pass, it's a bit higher than number 5, is because number 5 was boring as fuck. At least this was entertaining in some parts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, all right, so let's see. So at least we had a movie where the Romulans were actually in it for once. I mean, Jesus, 9 movies in before you finally get to see the Romulans themselves. Yeah. So it's like, geez, but it's like you give them like the dumbest plot to go with, and you start the movie. And you know what's weird? I almost feel like JJ stole so much from this movie when he made 09.
But 09 is good. This movie isn't.
No, 09 is good, and this one isn't. But it's like he stole ideas from this. Like, okay, this movie starts off with the Romulan leadership getting killed. JJ's like, I'm going to up that, and I'm just going to destroy Vulcan. The Scimitar is an extremely powerful ship. JJ basically stole that when he gave the Romulans an equally powerful ship in 09.
Yeah.
So it's like, I love 09, don't get me wrong, but it's like, he did steal quite a few elements from this. Obviously not the Shinzon shit, but it's like, this movie felt like nobody knew what the fuck to do with it. Like, it almost felt like, and I'm going to quote another friend of mine, this feels like they wanted to have their Wrath of Khan. And it just was like the war. So it was like a shit fucking writer who has no idea what he's doing. Like, was like, I can write a Wrath of Khan for you guys. And he just turned in like the worst idea humanly possible, because that's what this was. I mean, the problem with this movie is it has good ideas and concepts all over it.
Yes.
But this is the definition of bad writing, just murdering a film.
Oh.
Because it's just, again, the effects look pretty good. The makeup is good.
Tom
The
Hardy
music is
Tom
good.
Hardy was great despite the shitty costume. He does.
Oh, yeah, Shinzon looked stupid. What the hell was Shinzon wearing?
Yeah, okay,
It was like a black and it would have been cool if it had probably been like black and maybe a different color, but instead it's black, purple, and shiny rainbow on the black. Like, what the hell is that?
Right.
And he just looked weird. Like, maybe the suit still could have worked if it wasn't for those goofy shoulder pads that like turned up at the sides. Like, it just made him look.
Like that's the
It made him
worst,
just look so. He just looked so tiny.
That's the second worst costume I've seen. The first one being Steel from the movie with Shaq in it.
How dare you, sir? That movie is a fucking gold mine. No, Shinzon looked really stupid.
Ass, dude. Come on, you gotta admit.
Did you recognize the voice of his viceroy, by the way?
No, I didn't. Who is that?
That was Ron Perlman.
Fuck me! Wow, there's a lot of talent here, like in the worst Star Trek movie. Really?
Here's what he said. Perlman and Hardy became friends on the set. Perlman said in an interview 8 years after the release of the film, "I loved him when I first met him. I loved working with him. I found him to be really smart, really a great kid."
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So
Yeah.
there's actually a friendship between Ron Perlman and
Not sure if the friendship is still there, but Perlman obviously has respect for him. So I would assume if there's anything, they're at least still close in some way of, respect for each other. And when you work side by side with somebody, you usually can become good friends. So maybe they are.
That's awesome. Reminds me of that friendship between Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Yeah, that kind of friendship. That's what I like.
Oh yeah. And if you want to see that friendship like really worked upon, watch what else? What is Dogma's a good example. Good Will Hunting is another example. I think, right?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Anyways, so back to this amazing film, which was made on a budget of $60 million and only grossed $60. Hold up, get this. You're gonna love this. Budget $60 million. Box office $67 million.
Wow, they just barely broke even.
No, it bombed.
Huh? 60 million, 67.
No. When you're figuring out how much a movie costs, there's the budget, and then you have to factor in marketing, which is not part of the budget.
Okay, yeah, then it bombed.
Marketing is usually double the budget. So no, this bombed. This movie lost money, and it deserved it. But it's like the problem is, again, I get what they were doing. They were going for a darker film, but it's like you did it wrong. You didn't do it right, and then they have the balls to try and pull Spock's death, now doing it with Data, but they already established that there's that B4 is there, and before Data's death, we saw him even messing around with B4. So it's like, if there'd been a sequel to this, I guarantee it would have been, oh, B4 has Data's memories in him. He is Data again. Ho, ho, ho. Look, it was pointless, you guys. Data's still here. That was dumb.
So dumb.
And you having not watched Next Generation, we already did there's another Data, and it was a character called Lore who was another android created by the doctor that they talked about. So they'd already done the whole look, another Data flopping around, which is it the real one or not?
Oh wow.
So it's just it just wasted bullshit. And yeah, it's like, again, I wanted to see more of the Romulans, but they just didn't do anything with the fucking Romulans in this movie.
Romulans are a cool concept, and I'm glad like Nero shows up in the reboot because that was awesome. Eric Bana is underrated, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, he was badass. Shit, what's it? Did you ever watch the Saw movies or no?
Nah, I haven't seen the Saw movies. We should do that. You know why? Because Dylan loves the Saw movies.
I'm down. I was just asking because one of the main females in the first three. one of the main females in the first three. She's in this movie. She was the main Romulan female.
And then
Dina Meyer. She was also in
oh,
Starship Troopers, and you got to see her naked in that. As childish as it was for me to just announce that. But I love Starship Troopers, and I'm still waiting on you to watch it.
I will at some point. I really will, because that actually interests me.
But yeah, I don't know what the point of this movie was. They tried to take heavy concepts of a clone, and they didn't do. What did they do with it, Santino?
They did nothing. Jack shit, people.
I don't get it. I mean, what a way to end like the Next Generation movies on just such a like a
holy shit.
It wasn't even like, and it's like it wasn't even comparable to Spock's death, because when Spock died, it was like we were left with like, while we were sad that Spock was gone, we were left with a feeling of hope watching his casket go to the Genesis planet. Like Spock may be gone, but new life is starting. He's buried on a planet based on new life. And in this, it's just, okay, Data blows himself up.
Yeah, I felt nothing when Data died. Nothing whatsoever.
I feel bad that the writing was so bad that that's how they wiped out this character. I felt, you know what, I agree. I felt as much for Data's death as I felt for Kirk's death.
Exactly. There
in
you go. That's the
Generations, I
best
felt
comparison.
nothing.
That's the best comparison.
Just bad writing. Like it's a movie like this that's proof that bad writing can slaughter any good ideas. I mean, we're talking like Star Wars prequel lines of bad writing can ruin ideas. I mean, yes, the prequels, I'd honestly probably rather watch the prequels than this. But it's like, just, I don't get it. I don't get what they were going for with this movie. How do you just drop your writing quality so bad to just nothing? Like, I didn't even feel anything watching Riker and Troy getting married. It's like, who cares at this point?
Yeah. But I gotta admit, they were a cute couple in Resurrection. In Insurrection.
Yeah, they were. I really like that in Insurrection. Watch them flirt with each other and play around. And that was the first. Okay, so remember when Riker shaved his beard in Insurrection?
Yeah.
So the first few seasons of The Next Generation, he didn't have a beard. I think it was the first one or two. I don't remember. But then we just always knew Jonathan Frakes as having that beard. And then to see him without it again, it was like, whoa, baby face Riker, there he is. But it's like, I don't know. This movie had potential, and just bad writing did nothing. I mean, it's a shame that this is kind of how the Next Generation movies ended, on just such a shit fucking note.
Yeah, definitely.
So, any closing thoughts for it, or you've pretty much said it all?
I'm so done with Nemesis. I just want to get over with. I don't like it. It's not good. It's nothing, not special at all.
Nope. But like we said, at least it was cool seeing Tom Hardy.
Yeah, that was cool.
And on another note, again, you wouldn't know this. Shouldn't Romulus? This is almost more for people out there who've watched the shows. Shouldn't Romulus be basically destroyed and left in basically ruin after the Dominion War? I can't believe for 5 seconds after how the Dominion War went and how it basically rocked the Federation and this quadrant of space, that the movie would start with the Romulan leaders being like, how can we defeat the Federation? It's like this movie completely forgot that the Dominion War even fucking happened. Oh, and do you remember that female admiral who spoke to Jean-Luc at the beginning of the movie?
Yeah.
That was Janeway. Janeway was the captain of Voyager from the Voyager television show.
Oh, I haven't seen the Voyager television show.
Yeah. So I'm just throwing that little bit of info out to you. That
okay.
Yeah, for Star Trek Voyager, she was the captain of the Voyager, and after some of the decisions she made in Voyager, I'm kind of baffled that they made her an admiral. But whatever. This was the movie that kind of just decided, fuck Star Trek, I think, because that's kind of how it felt, and it was kind of just all downhill from here, anyways. So whatever. Right. So that was the end of the TNG movies. So what was you guys' thoughts on them? Did you like them better than we did? Did you hate them more than we did? Let us know down below. But in a few days, we shall return with a man I really don't have much respect for anymore. I used to, I don't, with J.J. Abrams' 2009 Star Trek and Star Trek Into Darkness.
Nice.
So we will see you there. This is Chad. Have a good night.
Santino signing off.